Let's get ready for some football! As you can see, I'm wearing my Dallas Cowboys jersey today, and I'm here to talk to you about the great game of football. Football has been the most popular sport in America since 1985, per the Harris Poll. The thing is, most people love to get together and watch the games, but not everyone always fully understands the positions that the players play, the rules, or the scoring structures. I'm here to help those people get a better grasp and understanding of the major concepts of football. So to give you an example of some numbers from CNN.com, the 2015 Super Bowl, which is the championship of professional football or the National Football League, averaged 111.9 million TV viewers. That's the third largest TV viewing in history. The 2014 Super Bowl actually was the second largest TV viewing event in history with 112.2 million people. So, and some other numbers that I got these numbers from Forbes.com. The National Football League is expected to surpass $13.3 billion in revenue for the 2016 season. That's up almost 50% since the 2010 season. So that kind of gives you an idea of just how popular the game of football is and just how fast the popularity of the game is growing. So even though there's so many diehard football fans out there, there's plenty of people that watch the game that don't fully understand the players' positions, the rules, or the structure of the game. This may lead to the fans being frustrated or less interested in the game because they can't follow along the way that they want to follow along. So my goal is to give those people a better understanding of the major concepts of the game of football, like the positions that the players play, the rules of the game, and the scoring structure of the game. So let's go ahead and get an understanding of some of the positions that are in football and some of the responsibilities of those positions. So when watching a game of football, you may hear comments such as, "Our running back is a beast," or "Our quarterback is on fire today." These are some common positions that most people probably heard of. But what about some of the other positions, like the offensive line, the defensive line, or the fullback? To fully understand the game, you really need a clear understanding of most of the positions and their responsibilities. So let's take a quick look at the offensive, defensive, and special teams positions. I have a diagram here that I wanted to show y'all to kind of give y'all a better idea of these positions and how they line up and what exactly their responsibilities are. So below is the offensive position, and the top is the defensive positions. Here are the offensive linemen, and their main goal is to block for the quarterback and the running back. They actually are going to block the defensive line for the most part. So the center will snap the ball to the quarterback, and the quarterback will either hand it off to the running back, who will try to gain yards and score touchdowns, or he'll keep it and he'll try to throw it to the wide receivers, who will try to catch the ball and gain yards and score touchdowns. So that's kind of what the offensive positions do there. Now the defensive positions, these are the defensive linemen, and their job and their goals are to get past the offensive linemen and tackle the quarterback or the running back. And then behind the defensive linemen, you have the linebackers, and they are primarily to help with the run and tackle the running back, but they can also drop back into passing and to defend passes. And then behind the linebackers, you have what are called the secondary, which are the corners and the safeties, and their main objective is to defend passes and keep the receivers from catching the ball. So now that we've kind of talked about the offense and the defense, let's kind of talk about the special teams. And there's really only two main special teams positions that you need to know. It's the kicker and the punter. The kicker comes out and kicks the ball off to start the game, and he also goes out to kick field goals and try to score points. Now the punter, he's the one that will be punting the ball, and generally he's going to punt the ball on fourth down after the offense is stopped by the defense. So now we have a better understanding of the positions and what their responsibilities and roles are. Let's discuss some of the rules of football. Have you ever been watching a game with a group of people and everyone's yelling at the TV and yelling at the referees and saying, "Oh, the referees made such a bad call," but you're kind of confused because you don't really understand the rules of the game? I mean, this can be frustrating, and it can cause you to be less interested in the game because you're not able to follow the rules and follow the game like you want to follow the game. So I think it's important to get to know the basic rules of football and just the structure of football. So let's talk about how the game is played. It's split into 4 quarters, and those quarters are actually split into halves. So you have your first 2 quarters, which are both 15 minutes long, and the opposing team and the home team will both get 3 timeouts between those 2 quarters. So then you go to halftime after those 2 quarters are over, and you'll start the second half, which is the third and fourth quarter. Those are both 15 minutes long as well, and you get 3 timeouts for those 2 quarters as well. And you can use those timeouts whenever you want to. So now that we kind of have an idea of the structure of the game, let's talk about some of the most common penalties, such as offsides, holding, pass interference, and penalties such as that. So what is offsides? Offsides is when a player on offense or defense jumps or starts before the ball is snapped to the quarterback. This is a 10-yard penalty, whether it's on the offense or the defense. And then there's holding. Holding is when a player on offense or defense holds the opposing team's jersey and impedes him from making progress or making a play. This is also a 10-yard penalty. Then there's pass interference. Pass interference occurs when a person trying to catch the ball is interfered with before he makes the catch. For instance, let me give you an example. If I'm trying to catch the ball and the ball is coming to me, the defender can't come up to me and shove me down before the ball gets to me. That's called pass interference, and that's a 10-yard penalty as well. Now let's talk about personal fouls. These are kind of specific fouls on a single player that are a little bit different than what we just talked about. These are generally more violent and kind of unsportsmanlike fouls. First, there's roughing the passer. This is after the quarterback has thrown the ball, a defensive player will tackle the quarterback or throw the quarterback down. This is a 15-yard penalty. The quarterback is very well protected by the referees and is not allowed to get hit after he throws the ball. Targeting is when a player launches himself with the crown of his head or helmet at an opposing player. This has really been a hot topic and a big issue and a focus by the referees lately because of all the rise in more talks of concussions and everything that is going on with concussions nowadays. This is actually a 15-yard penalty for targeting, and you can also be ejected for it. And then last is a face mask penalty. This is actually when you grab the opposing team's face mask. This is always illegal. You're never allowed to grab the opposing team's face mask, and it's a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So for our last point, let's take a look at the scoring structure. It can be really frustrating to watch a game if you don't even understand the scoring structure. This makes it hard to be a true fan and hard to follow along. So let's look at the different ways to score and how much you're rewarded for each score. The most basic score of football is called the touchdown. I'm sure y'all have all heard of it before. A touchdown occurs when a team with possession of the ball crosses the goal line, and the touchdown is always worth 6 points. So let's take another look at another diagram that I have here. This is basically what a football field looks like, and a touchdown is when you get into one of these 2 areas by crossing the goal line here, like I was just saying. After you score a touchdown, then comes the extra point or the point after try. And there's 2 ways that you can attempt the point after try. You can kick, which is worth 1 point, and this is done by kicking. In the NFL, it's done by kicking the ball from the 15-yard line. If you make it, you're awarded 1 point. And this is an untimed down, so the clock is not running when this is going on. And then also you can attempt to go for 2 points by running a play from the 2-yard line. So if you make it past the goal line, like I was just showing you, then you get an extra 2 points. So if you miss the kick or fail to get past the goal line on the 2-point try, you don't get awarded any points. So the last method of scoring is kicking a field goal. This is pretty popular as well. You can kick from anywhere on the field, and it's usually done at the end of the half or at the end of the game or on 4th down. The kicker has to make the ball between the uprights to get awarded 3 points. If the kicker misses, the opposing team gets the ball back where the kicker attempted to kick from. And I'll give you kind of an idea of what that looks like as well. We'll go back to this diagram. This is what the kicker has to kick it between. This is the field goal post. So the kicker has to kick the ball between these 2 field goal posts. So in this area somewhere, and if he kicks it between this area, then he's awarded 3 points. Now that we've covered all the basics in the game of football, let's kind of discuss what we've talked about. Hopefully next time you're watching football, you will have a better understanding of the positions each player plays, the rules of the game, and the scoring structure. It's fun to go out and connect with different fans and different people and family and friends and watch the game of football. And maybe next time you'll be able to converse a little bit more as you're watching the game. So next time you're watching a game, hopefully it makes more sense and you can become the die-hard fan that you've always wanted to be. Thank you.